Alright guys, welcome to the channel. If you guys are new here, welcome back if you guys are subscribed. And today we're going to be working on this 2006 Acura MDX, and I'm going to show you guys how to change your driver's side window regulator and motor. So let's get into today's video. This is our driver's side door for the Acura MDX. First thing you want to do is remove a few tabs so that you can get at some Phillips screws that you're going to need to remove in order to remove the door. Or at least the door panel, I should say. And then you're going to have some stuff that you're just going to have to pry up. They have some clips underneath them. This is one of them. This is the control. Flip it right over. You want to unplug the wire harness for the control and just take it out of your way. Set it aside. It's also, you're going to need to remove this. It just pops right out. One wire harness, and then you set that to the side. Now we can start removing the Phillips that holds in the handle for the door. Take that out. I'm just gonna rest it right here for safekeeping. Now you're gonna push forward on this, or at least back and forward until you get it free. There you go. There we go. Push back actually. Okay, so there's a wire harness on this as well. Make sure to disconnect this stuff properly. You're gonna have to flip this plastic clip around off of the rod for the door. There we go. And then you can lift the rod out and your handle is out. Just gonna keep setting things aside. I'm gonna pop this screw out now. Aside. Alright, now I'm just gonna look for any more screws that might be in our way of removing the door. We're gonna pop off this speaker cover, set that aside, take the speaker out. Disconnect this. There you go. Then you should be able to pry up on the door. There you go. Just pry up on it. It should come right up. You're gonna have some connectors that you're gonna have to disconnect. And then just set it aside, and you can clearly see the motor's bolts 1, 2, 3, the regulator 1, 2, 1, 2, and that should be it. So I'm going to start by trying to locate. There are 2 bolts that are in the window that connected to the regulator, but I cannot see those, and obviously my window regulator isn't working. So it's going to be a bit hard to get that window down for me to undo it. So I'm going to undo the motor, undo the regulator, and see if I could get it into position to see the bolts right here for me to take them out. Alright, so just by removing the panel, I found that my motor's wire harness was unplugged. I plugged it in. I put the control switch back on for the door. I'm going to send power to it and see what it does. Most likely it's faulty is why they disconnected it, but yeah. You can hear the motor engaging, but nothing happening. Alright, so we're just gonna continue removing it and get to installing the new one. Alright, so I've taken out all the motor bolts. The motor is just hanging in here now. All the regulator bolts are out, which is 4 bolts. There's 2 bolts that's in the window that hold it to the regulator. I was able to get one of the bolts through this hole, and I had to reach in with a pliers. If you guys have a 10mm wrench, that will be easier to get the bolt that is behind here. And now I have it finger tight. As you can see, I can move the window around. And what I'm gonna do is, I have the last bolt out of the window. I'm gonna put the window up, and I'm gonna try and jam it with a piece of cardboard so it doesn't come down. And now you want to take the regulator and just lean it and fish it right out of this hole. And once the regulator is out, the motor will come right out. So out with the old and in with the new. What you want to make sure to do when you're installing your new regulator and motor is leave 2 bolts, the bottom bolts, slack in the motor, and 1 top bolt slack in the regulator. And you want to fish it through just like how you took it out. I'm going to grab the motor. There's going to be a slotted hole for the regulator to go in. And there we go, regulator is sitting in. It's going to be 2 slotted holes at the bottom for the motor. I got 1 in, I got 2. So we've got it resting in. I am going to put all of the bolts in, and then we are going to bring the window down and attach it right here. So now that we have the 4 regulator bolts in, we're just gonna make sure that they're nice and tight. About a 1/4 turn more on each of them. Make sure the motor bolts are tight. Very good. You want to get the wire harness for the motor. Feed it right through. Connect it to the harness. I believe it goes right here. So I'm gonna pop this out. There we go. Pop the new clip in. Ready to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to carefully, at least let me get 2 bolts in my hand ready to go. We're going to carefully remove the chuck and bring the window down to the right level where it sits right at the regulator, which is right here. And I'm going to try and get a bolt in. It's going to be a bit difficult, but shouldn't be too hard. I got 1 in. That's the other one. Put the other in now. Alright, what I'm going to do, I am going to reconnect the control again to test it and to also bring the window up a bit so that I can actually use those holes. Alright, still not working. Alright, so I want to show you guys a tip. This seems super weird. I'm not sure why this happens, but we installed the new regulator, new motor. I hooked it up, and I hooked up everything on these boards to get power to them, to get them to the window. And if you listen, you can hear like the motor trying to move, but it's not, and it's a brand new motor. So I went online, I started Googling things. There's a small light that's in the door. They call it like a foot panel light. And for some strange reason, if you don't have this plugged in, which is just a light, you won't get any power to your window. So watch this now. Fully working regulator. You unplug a light, you lose all power to this window. So I hope this helps you guys. You're gonna have to make sure plug in this light or whatever it is to get power to that motor. And let's continue with putting the door and everything back on. So we have the panel back on. The only tricky part about the panel is making sure that you get the locking mechanism through first, and then you rest it on, push it down, and snap it in place. We're going to be reinstalling the speaker now, and just for ease of ace, I'm going to plug it in and then line up these bolt holes. Let's get some screws in this. Speaker is back on. You can now reinstall the cover for that, and it's pretty easy. There's some clips that slide in first. Slide these sides in, just snap it in place. Now we're gonna do the door handle, and I'm gonna connect the electrical side of it first, and then I'm gonna bring this forward, get the rod in it, flip the clip around, snap it on, pull this connector back, and push it forward. There we go. I'm gonna line up the hole in the middle here. Get your screw, reinstall the screw. Now we're gonna install the tweeter. Gonna plug it in. It has clips in the back of it to clip in place. Once you line those clips up, make sure I'm not pinching the wires. There you go. Snap it right in place. Now for the controls: big blue connector, brown connector, and this gray connector. And this also just snaps right into place. Make sure I got this right. Don't want to be breaking any clips. There we go. Not quite down in the front. Alright, put the front in first, rest in. Now it's flush. One more screw to put in the door. I'm just gonna push this in. Tighten this right down. Now there are some plastic connectors that I broke. Taking this off, I'm just gonna see if I could pop those back in. I got one in. I don't know if I have this other one. There we go. Right here. So I'm just gonna slip this one. It probably comes out the other way. There you have it. Two of the plastic clips in. Let us test the motor. Working just fine. Alright guys, and that is how you change a window regulator in any 2006 Acura MDX. I believe the years start from 01 to 06. So this applies to any of those Acura MDX. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video helped you in any kind of way, make sure to drop a like on this video. If you want more content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss a video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.